All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that's going to shape, well, a lot. We're talking about China's new roadmap for the years 2026 to 2030.
So, the big question on everyone's mind is what exactly is China's plan for the next 5 years? And trust me, this isn't just some abstract policy paper. It has real world implications for pretty much everyone, whether you're a tech investor in Silicon Valley, a manufacturer in Europe, or part of a developing nation.
Okay, so it's all laid out in what is seriously one of the world's most important policy documents. So let's break it down. We're going to unpack the key goals, what's driving this whole thing, and, what this massive plan really means, not just for China, but for the rest of us. Right, so first things first, you've got to understand that Beijing sees this upcoming period as, well, absolutely critical. The plan frames these 5 years as a foundational phase, a really key period for hitting their long-term goal of becoming a fully modernized nation by the middle of the century. Now, for anyone who's not familiar with this, what exactly is a 5-year plan? Well, think of it as the central blueprint for China's state-led development. It's this super comprehensive document that basically directs all the country's resources towards very specific national priorities. And make no mistake, this isn't just a list of suggestions. It's a powerful statement of intent. Okay, so obviously no plan is created in a vacuum, right? And this one is very much a direct response to a world that Beijing sees as, let's just say, increasingly complex and pretty turbulent. The document really paints a picture of a dual reality. On one side, you've got these major global headwinds, things like geopolitical friction, rising protectionism, and of course, super intense tech competition. But then on the other side, there are also these domestic pressures, like weaker consumer demand and a shifting population. So this whole plan is designed to navigate all those challenges while also trying to seize what it calls strategic opportunities. So the big question is, how are they going to do that? Well, the whole strategy basically rests on the three main pillars. And the first one, which is arguably the most important, is this massive push for economic self-reliance and technological independence. Now, central to this first pillar is a new buzzword you're going to hear a lot: new quality productive forces. This isn't just about making more stuff. No. It's a fundamental shift. It's about moving towards high-tech, high-efficiency growth. The whole idea is to push China up the global value chain and, crucially, reduce its dependence on foreign tech. And this isn't just some abstract idea. The plan gets super specific, targeting these frontier industries. We're talking about things like quantum technology, AI, 6G communications, and even brain-computer interfaces. I mean, this is a crystal clear signal that China is dead set on becoming a leader, not just a follower, in the technologies that are going to define our future. And all of this feeds into a core economic concept they call dual circulation. So what's that? The basic idea is to make China's economy more resilient by really boosting its huge domestic market to be the main engine of growth. But at the same time, they'll still be strategically engaged with the global economy. It's really about making sure they can stand on their own 2 feet if they have to. But, the plan's ambitions aren't purely economic, not at all. The second pillar is all about people and the planet, putting a really heavy emphasis on social well-being and green development. There's this famous quote that really captures the philosophy here: lucid waters and lush mountains are invaluable assets. The plan commits to building what they call a beautiful China by tackling pollution and speeding up the green transition. They're basically framing environmental protection as a source of long-term economic value. The plan also really doubles down on improving people's everyday lives. It lays out goals to create better jobs, expand public services, and just generally strengthen the social safety net, especially in areas like healthcare and education. And this is all tied into that broader political goal of achieving common prosperity. And this slide really gets to the heart of one of the plan's core social goals: creating what they call an olive-shaped society. So what does that mean? The goal is to shrink the low-income population while expanding the middle class. Beijing sees this as absolutely key for both social stability and for powering that all-important domestic consumption we talked about. All right, that brings us to the final pillar. And this one is a really comprehensive approach to national security and, at the same time, enhancing China's role on the world stage. Now, it's super important to understand that when this plan talks about security, it means so much more than just the military. It's about securing, well, pretty much everything, from food and energy supplies to critical supply chains and data. It even extends out to new frontiers like the deep sea, outer space, and the polar regions. It's a very broad definition.
But of course, traditional defense is still a huge component. The plan explicitly reiterates the goal of completing a major phase of military modernization by 2027, which marks the 100th anniversary of the People's Liberation Army. And then, looking beyond its borders, the plan lays out a very clear strategy to increase China's global influence. This includes things like continuing the Belt and Road Initiative, expanding its network of free trade agreements, deepening ties with the Global South, and really actively participating in the reform of global institutions. Okay, so we've gone through the three main pillars of the plan, but what does it all add up to? What are the big picture implications for the rest of the world?
This chart does a pretty good job of highlighting the three areas where the plan is going to have the biggest global impact. So first, as you can see from that big bar for tech, the whole push for self-reliance is almost certainly going to intensify global technology competition. Second, that focus on the domestic economy is expected to reshape global supply chains. And third, China's more active role in diplomacy is going to continue to influence how global governance evolves.
So, if you take away one thing, it's this. The 15th five-year plan isn't just an economic document, not by a long shot. It's a comprehensive strategy for a nation that's aiming to become more secure, more technologically advanced, and way more influential on the world stage, all while trying to navigate this period of really profound global uncertainty. So China has laid out its plan. The goals are set, the direction is crystal clear. The question now isn't just whether China can actually achieve all these ambitions, but maybe more importantly, how will the rest of the world respond? How will other countries adapt, compete, and cooperate in the world this plan is trying to create?